Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Jessica Harrington. Tonight on the Now Bakersfield, IHOP restaurants across the country gave out free stacks of buttermilk pancakes today, raising money for children's charities. We'll show you how today's donations can help save lives. And the Board of Supervisors addressed the high-speed rail today, discussing the possibility of asking the state for millions of invested dollars back. And how would you like a career with the Bakersfield Police Department? We'll tell you about an opportunity that could have you patrolling downtown. That's all ahead on the Now Bakersfield. Chris?
We have a lot of talk about your money and your safety today here on the Now, including a record number of homes that could be affected by disasters just like this year. We're going to get into the debate about how to best protect your property. And look, we've all had to deal with aggressive drivers, and frankly, maybe we are the aggressive drivers from time to time, right? But we're going to show you some new numbers on just how much this could be costing you and where it's happening the worst. Also,
I would like a breakfast burrito, please.
I have one bacon burrito and your total is $2.16. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that voice you just heard is a robot. How that new employee is changing the fast food game.
Good evening. Local IHOP restaurants just finished serving up hundreds of free short stacks in honor of National Pancake Day, aiming to raise thousands of dollars for kids right here in Kern County. The Now's Eliza Navarro met with one local family and their son Grayson, who received treatment for a rare cancer at the Lauren Small Children's Center, showing how today's donations can help save lives.
4-year-old Grayson Franklin was just 2 years old when a regular checkup turned out to be much more.
You never, ever, ever want to hear cancer ever when it comes to your children.
A mouth sore that doctors say wasn't healing.
The biopsy turned out to be Langerhans cell histiocytosis, which is an autoimmune dysfunction that causes cancerous lesions on and in the body depending on what type you have. He has bone and skin.
After that diagnosis, Grayson's mom says they began their emotional and painful recovery with chemotherapy in 2017, a healing that consisted of over a dozen visits to the hospital.
It was really difficult. How do you explain to a 2-year-old, you have to have all of this medication pumped through you in order to help you, and all he knows is, I'm getting poked, it hurts.
A difficult time that was made easier with the support of the Children's Miracle Network program at the local Bakersfield Memorial Hospital.
Being able to have the calming of the nerves of, there is somebody here in town who has the funding due to the community donating at events like this, that was so settling to my husband and I. We were able to get through it and be able to, keep fighting and stay strong.
Events like the IHOP Free Pancake Day help raise money across the country to help children like Grayson. Local IHOP manager Karen Monson has been hosting the event for 13 years and says it's full of hope.
You don't expect anything to happen to your child. So when it does, and their life is hanging in the balance and the equipment is right there around the corner, that's a great feeling.
And says every penny raised helps save lives.
Every dollar counts. Every dollar, every quarter, every $5, every whatever you want to give, whatever you can give, we appreciate it.
Just like it helped Grayson make it to the finish line.
October 20th, 2017, we had a clear scan. His tumor was gone and his skin lesions were gone. And we finished out chemo through April 2018.
Today, Grayson continues having regular checkups, but he is no longer getting poked with needles. And his family continues sharing his story to motivate other families to keep fighting and to be strong.
That was the Now's Eliza Navarro reporting. At the Rosedale IHOP location alone, the restaurant has served up more than 700 plates of pancakes and brought in more than $2,200 in donations as of 6:15 for the Lauren Small Children's Center. Last year, Bakersfield IHOP restaurants in total raised more than $15,000. The Kern County Board of Supervisors met today discussing a resolution to abandon the high-speed rail project and have the state give back funds already allocated. Last month, Supervisor Zach Scribner called for the state to stop the high-speed rail project following a declaration by Governor Gavin Newsom to scale down the project. Original plans for the high-speed rail would have connected Los Angeles to San Francisco and eventually down to San Diego with a stop here in Bakersfield. However, due to numerous reports of mismanagement, including a ballooning cost of $77 billion and expanding timeline, Governor Newsom cut the project down. The new plan would connect Bakersfield to Modesto. Supervisor Scribner said the millions allocated to the high-speed rail could be better used on other projects and asked his fellow board members to support the measure. Supervisor Leticia Perez, however, voted against it, saying she supports the rail as a job creator.
I am uncomfortable supporting this resolution, not because it does not have some righteousness to it. It certainly does. But I think all things considered and on balance, I have to support job-creating mechanisms that are here.
The motion to adopt the resolution was approved by the Board of Supervisors. The proposal calls for a letter to be sent to Governor Newsom, the High-Speed Rail Authority, the State Assembly, and the Senate, calling for an end to the high-speed rail project. How would you like a career with the Bakersfield Police Department? If so, now is your chance. The department has open positions for parking enforcement technicians. To qualify for the position, you must have a high school diploma or a GED, be 18 or older, have a valid driver's license, and you must also be able to pass a background check. Officials say the parking attendants will mostly be working in the downtown area and up near Bakersfield College. If you're interested in applying for the parking enforcement position, you have until March 21st, which is next Thursday. For more information, just head to our website, turnto23.com. Well, Brit Floyd is making their way back to downtown Bakersfield, bringing their $1 million light show, lasers, and theatrics as they cover some of the most popular songs by Pink Floyd. Check this out.
Is there anybody in there? I have become comfortably numb.
Brit Floyd will be returning to the Fox Theater on Friday, July 5th. Officials at Fox say the theatrical concert was one of their best reviewed and biggest stage shows of 2018. Tickets go on sale this Thursday at 11 a.m. for the show and start at just $37.
The Now newsfeed starts with Dick's Sporting Goods getting rid of guns in 125 of its stores. Now, you may remember the store tightened its rules on gun sales after the Parkland school shooting. The company's had some slumping sales since that decision, according to the Wall Street Journal. Well, today the government is charging lumber liquidators with fraud. The company going to pay a $33 million fine. They misled investors about formaldehyde in its laminate flooring. The CDC said the amount of that chemical in their flooring increased cancer risks. And the White House might put colleges on the hook for loans. Now, the president could issue an executive order that would require schools to be financially responsible if someone doesn't pay back their loan. Right now, taxpayers foot the bill. We're getting new information today about how disasters are impacting the housing market, and Annie Taylor's here to explain.
Chris, you think back to all the disasters that destroyed homes and lives in 2018, and about 15,000 homes lost in the California wildfires alone, and that's according to Zillow. But now Zillow predicts a record number of homes will be affected by disasters this year, and the company says we need to be more proactive. So, for example, on our coastline, Zillow says there are more than 386,000 homes that will be at risk of flooding by 2050 because of rising sea levels. Yet people keep building on them. And government agencies like FEMA are there to help people after disaster strikes. But real estate experts told Zillow that more needs to be done preemptively to protect properties rather than just insuring them. Things like enforcing strict building codes and investing in infrastructure like seawalls. And almost half of them said that if a homeowner can't afford the higher insurance premium required to live in higher risk areas, then they should sell their homes. And they say the government shouldn't be on the hook to subsidize that insurance.
All right, Annie, thank you. And next in our lineup here on the Now Look, we've all had to deal with aggressive drivers. Maybe we are the aggressive drivers from time to time, right? Well, we have new numbers on just how much this could be costing you and where it's happening the worst. Many people need help with the high cost of prescription drugs. And if you're getting a United Health Insurance plan through your work next year, you're going to be able to pay less when you fill a prescription. Now, what's different is you'll get the rebates that are offered on medications. Typically, they go to the companies sponsoring employee insurance plans. United Health says that the updated rebate program lowers the cost of a prescription by $130 on average. Now, this is only if you're new to the insurance plan, not if your company already offers you this coverage. Well, some of the airbag inflators installed as replacements during the massive airbag recall, they aren't safe either. Now some cars are getting recalled for a second time. This impacts popular Honda and Acura vehicles made between 2001 and 2016, models like the Accord, Civic, the Odyssey minivan. Now, the issue is the same. The chemical used to inflate the airbag can deteriorate, causing a metal canister to explode, sending shrapnel flying. Well, we've all seen that drivers on the road can be in such a hurry that, frankly, it's just the safest to get out of their way. But Amy Taylor's here with a look at the price of aggressive driving.
The more traffic there is, the more frustrated people get behind the wheel. Maybe they're cutting in and out of lanes, suddenly hitting the brakes, or even speeding up. That not only puts all of us at risk of getting into a crash, but it takes money out of our pocket. Gas Buddy found that aggressive driving can make your gas mileage 40% less. That means you could spend close to $500 more a year in gas. Now, according to the Insurance Information Institute, many car insurance policies list road rage as an exemption. So that means if there's a crash and there's injuries, they may not cover it if they find out it was intentional. But those types of claims are rare. Still good, though, to be on the lookout for those aggressive drivers, and it's probably best to stay out of their way. Now, this map shows the top 10 worst cities for this. Gas Buddy found the most drivers speeding, braking hard, or accelerating in these spots alone. All right. So, Chris, I'm going to ask you.
Yeah.
What days of the week, Monday, weekday, weekend, do you think the most aggressive drivers are out there on the road?
I would think Monday, because you just start in the week, bad mood, out of the gate.
It's actually Friday.
I am more of an optimist as well, though. I would say not every Monday's bad.
People are trying to get home.
I guess so. Everybody just needs to calm down on the roads, because it doesn't help anybody else out when you're mad and you're letting your emotions take the wheel. All right, Annie, thanks.
A local college is asking the community to play games for a day, all to raise money for a good cause. Bakersfield College's Renegamers Club is hosting a day filled with fun to raise money for the Lawrence Small Children's Center at Memorial Hospital. The day will feature video, card, tabletop, and role-playing games created by multiple BC clubs. There will also be face painting and costume contests. It's all happening on Saturday, April 6th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. in the Humanities Building on BC's main campus. Registration costs $15. Organizers have already raised $2,600 and hope to reach $10,000 on the day of the event. All right, let's take a live look outside right now. The sun's setting, great temperatures outside. Allison Gargaro joins us with a look at our forecast.
It was another beautiful day across Kern County, mostly clear skies here in the valley. So the storm that we were tracking last night now pushing off into Arizona, but we are tracking yet another system that is mostly going to be hanging out over the Great Basin, but will be bringing some light precipitation to our mountains later this evening. But we are already tracking very strong winds across the county. So wind speeds right now here in Bakersfield, 13 miles per hour. Up in the Kern River Valley is going to be nearing 20-25, and in Mojave, actually earlier today, we already had reports of gusts reaching up to 57 miles per hour. So due to these very strong winds, we are tracking a high wind warning in the Kern County mountains and desert. That begins at 5 p.m. tonight, began at 5 p.m. tonight and continues until 5 in the morning on Wednesday. So you can see this system slowly going to be creeping in that precipitation just north of the county by 8:30 this evening, and then it's really going to be pushing into our mountain communities, and some of those overnight temperatures are going to be below that freezing point. So we are tracking the chance to see some snow in the mountains. We are tracking a winter weather advisory. So along the passes, especially along the I-5 through the Grapevine, we could be seeing 1 up to 2 inches of snow. That could be the case in Tehachapi as well. So just make sure that you are being aware of those slick roads mixed with those windy conditions could cause some reduced visibility, especially in the overnight hours. So on the back end of this system, tracking slightly cooler temperatures down to 60 degrees as a high in Bakersfield tomorrow. tomorrow. Then that sun is going to be dominating through the weekend into early next week. By Friday, we're going to be hovering right around that 70-degree mark, and then by Monday, reaching 80 degrees. We haven't seen temperatures in the 80s since November 2nd here in Bakersfield. That was a high of 81.
2018 was a tough year for new construction, but this year, building permits are up, and some of those builders are using new and frankly unconventional methods to keep costs down. For example, there's a Texas company that says it can now 3D print a concrete house in just a matter of days. We actually went to Austin last year to see a smaller scale of the company Icon's first permitted 3D printed house. It's built using a giant 3D printer, just pours concrete for the walls. The rest of the house is kind of put together like a regular home. And we talked to the company last year about using this model worldwide.
Yeah, it's a monumental challenge. You know, it's a little overwhelming. There's about 1 billion people that don't have one of life's most basic human needs, shelter, right? And we believe that in order to make a dent in that number, we have to come up with new solutions.
Icon's building an entire 3D printed community of at least 50 homes in Latin America this year. And U.S. Housing Secretary Ben Carson toured the Austin home just this month. Well, the newer 3D printed homes can go up for 2,000 square feet at this point. They require less material. The total house costs are about 30% less. So think of a traditional $200,000 home that could be built for $140,000. Now, they plan to start churning out these bigger homes by the end of the year. Climbing. That is a sport that is getting more and more popular, even just watching it, right? Next year, it'll be in the Olympics for the first time, and a climbing film even won Best Documentary Feature at this year's Academy Awards. Now, after filming climbers for decades, one man is happy to see more people taking notice. Kamasi Aaron has his story.
It has never been climbed.
As amazing as it is to see a shot like this,
it's like stepping off the edge of the earth.
What may be even more breathtaking is what you don't see.
How bad could it be?
The work it takes behind the scenes.
Trying to do our counterbalance shot.
To bring the world of climbing out of the wilderness and onto the big screen.
There's no stadium, there's no arena, and nobody really knows what they're doing.
Peter Mortimer is a climber and the co-founder of Cinder Films, which produced this film, The Dawn Wall.
And we'd be right there filming the whole thing with them.
Peter and his team followed two men as they attempted to climb a 3,000-foot rock face in Yosemite National Park. Hanging from the wall, even sleeping on the wall.
Solar panels here for charging our camera batteries.
All for the perfect shot.
We knew if they did it, we had to be there. But we also, for 7 years, really, were like, this is probably never going to happen, but it's worth the risk.
Come on! It took them 7 years to finally make it.
Congrats, my friend.
Peter's team captured the moment, and the film more awards than Peter ever imagined. A far cry from the first climbing film Peter made 20 years ago of his best friend.
I thought, please don't embarrass me.
One film led to another, and as the climbing industry grew, so did Cinder Films, producing more than 40 hours of climbing films, winning 2 Emmys, and putting on a film tour with more than 400 shows around the world.
I thought rock climbing was something that was just a little hobby at the time. I'm just still surprised that what it's become.
There have been challenges.
And I've seen so many of my, really close friends, die in the mountains. So that's the camera flying up.
But Peter says he's approached this journey in film as he would a climb.
Yeah, no one's climbed that. That could be an amazing thing. The path doesn't really exist.
Inspiring both climbers and the people who enjoy his films on the way up. I'm Kamasi Aaron reporting.
I would like a breakfast burrito, please.
I have 1 bacon burrito and your total is $2.16. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool story coming up. That voice you just heard on the other side there, that's a robot responding to an order. How this first of its kind fast food employee is actually working out. That story next here on The Now. We've heard a lot about robots, maybe one day taking our jobs. Well, Annie Taylor went to a Colorado fast food joint proving that the future is reality.
I would like a breakfast burrito, please.
Meet Holly, America's first ever fast food robot employee.
I have one bacon burrito and your total is $2.16. Thank you.
Thank you.
Taking customers' orders at the Good Times Burgers and Frozen Custard drive-thru.
It was right, so it listened, so that's good.
For 20 years, Herlinda has been taking orders and serving up food and says Holly's not replacing her position. She's just taking one of the tasks off her plate.
It's really fast and helps us with the speed a lot.
The robot cutting the drive-through time by 10 to 15 seconds.
So our AI is talking to the customers taking their order. The employees are actually listening in on that, and they're starting to make the food as the conversation is happening. So in a lot of situations, by the time the customer pulls up to the window, the food's already ready.
The creator behind this artificial intelligence technology is Valiant. Rob Carpenter, the CEO, says Holly's the wave of the future.
As jobs evolve and change, new jobs become available.
Which would you like?
While customers find the idea of Holly fun, they're still unsure.
Definitely a little awkward. Humans, just better response. But more responsive and talkative.
With any form of new technology, Rob says they're still working out the kinks.
Understanding the almost near infinite number of ways that people can ask for a cheeseburger. There's also the different accents that you have to contend with.
While Holly isn't the perfect employee, Rob says in the next 5 years, you will see more robots at big name stores and fast food restaurants.
The opportunities are limitless.
I'm Annie Taylor reporting.
Annie, thanks. And going to the park's a great way to get exercise, but new research says could be doing much more than that. And tomorrow on The Now, how fast you can get a happiness boost as well.
All right, we're taking one more live look at downtown Bakersfield. It's so nice to see some light out. Coming up after the break, we'll show you what we're working on for 23 ABC News at 11. Welcome back. Coming up tonight on 23 ABC News at 11, the historic evening with Anne Frank's stepsister at the Fox Theater. We're going to have more on the first-hand account from Eva Schloss about her childhood experiences. Again, that and more coming up tonight at 11. In the meantime, we're going to leave you with a live look at downtown Bakersfield. We'll see you back here at 11 o'clock.